Ok. Bon, bonjour tout le monde et bienvenue pour un autre YouTube Live aujourd'hui. Pour ceux d'entre vous qui ne nous connaissent pas, nous sommes Cercle de Langues. Nous sommes une école d'anglais en ligne qui propose des formations d'anglais qui sont financées 100% avec votre CPF. N'hésitez pas de nous contacter pour faire un bilan pédagogique gratuit. C'est pour évaluer votre niveau avant de commencer votre formation avec nous. Moi, je suis Alexandra. Je suis professeure d'anglais pour Cercle de Langues. Et aujourd'hui, je vais gérer cette YouTube Live. Le sujet, c'est comment répondre au téléphone au travail en anglais. Hello everyone joining. Ok, donc on va commencer maintenant. Okay, premièrement, nous avons les introductions au téléphone. La politesse est clé. So I'm going to say this part in English. So something that is very important to note when you are speaking on the phone, you need to be polite and try to be quite positive. So instead of saying simple answers like okay, no problem, try and use more sophisticated vocabulary, saying something like certainly, very well, all right. That's just a beginning for you. So, for example, if you are having trouble hearing the other person on the phone, you have to always ask before you maybe put them on speakerphone. This is all about being polite as well. It's considered very bad manners if you don't ask someone and put them on speaker. So you can say something like, I cannot hear you very well. Je ne vous entends pas très bien. Can I put our call on loudspeaker? Puis-je mettre notre appel sur haut-parleur? This is very important because you want to be able to hear them, but of course you do need to ask permission. Okay. Now, something else that's important to note is it's all about helping the client when you are on the phone. Aider le client. So you want to be helpful, you want to be positive. Don't say things like, I don't know the answer, or I have no idea. You want to be helpful. So even if you don't have the answer that they are looking for, you can say something nice and positive like, let me find out about that for you, or let me find out for you. This shows that you are willing to help even if you maybe don't have all the answers. Okay. Now we're going to look at all about when you are connecting someone on the phone. Connecter quelqu'un. So there are very many expressions you can use regarding this sort of context. So we have some informal ones for you because you might not always need to be incredibly formal, although at work it is good to try and be as much as possible. But some informal expressions never hurt. So for example, if you have somebody asking to talk to someone on the phone, you can say something like, just a sec, or just a second, I'll get him. I will get the person you are asking for. Or something like, hang on a moment, I'll see if she's in, or I'll see if he's in, I'll see if the person is available. And now we also have another excellent phrase you can use is saying something like, one moment please. Now this is already a bit more formal than saying just a sec, just a second. I would use just the sec or just the second, maybe if you are in a bit of a rush, if it's something quite urgent, you don't have time for formalities. But if you do, it's always better to be formal. So saying something like, "One moment, please, I'll see if he's available." And of course, something you can make the other person do is to hold the line. So you can ask them in this way, "Hold the line, please. I'll put you through in a moment." It's very important to let someone know that you are putting them on hold, not just doing it without telling them. Once again, it's about keeping things polite. Okay. As we said, so there's many ways of mentioning putting someone on hold. So another expression you can use is something like, "Please hold while I put you through to the manager's office." Or also mentioning that all the staff is busy. So let the customer know, all of our staff are busy at this time, so please hold for the next available person. So you are informing them that you are all busy, it can happen, but that they can hold when someone does become available, they will be reached. It's all about guiding the other person, knowing that we are here to listen, and there is someone that is going to talk to them. Okay. Now, the next topic you can find you're dealing with on the phone is asking for something. So, faire une demande de quelque chose, d'information. Now, this can be quite difficult. So, sometimes you might not be able to hear what the person says. Sometimes you will need them to spell, usually their name, or to give you their phone number. So here are some phrases that you can use to ask these questions and to get this information that you need. So first, very useful phrase, simply say, "Could you please repeat that?" There is no shame in asking someone to repeat themselves for you, especially if you are talking to someone in a language you're not comfortable with. So English, for example, for those of you who are not yet confident, there's no shame in asking for repetition. So could you please repeat that? Then if you need them to spell something for you, you can say something like, "Would you mind spelling that for me?" So once again, we are being very polite. We're saying, "Would you mind doing that? Would that be a problem for you? Please help me out here so that I can help you." Another issue you may face is that the person talking might be quite quiet. So in this case, you simply can ask them if they could speak louder. So you can say, "Could you speak up a little, please?" This means, can you speak louder? Also, if, again, it's maybe difficult to grasp all the English they're using, maybe they're speaking a bit too fast, you can say, "Can you speak a little slower, please?" And even mention if you don't feel confident in your English, again, there's no shame in saying, "My English isn't very good yet, so can you please speak a little slower for me?" Okay. Now again, so asking for information. Often you will need to know where somebody is. You will want to reach someone that maybe you can't reach right away. So things you can ask, "Could you let me know when so-and-so is in the office? Could you let me know when this person is in the office and when they could call me?" And if someone isn't available, you may need to call again. So what you can do is you can ask the other person to call you back. So, "Would you mind calling back in an hour or in half an hour?" You're not always going to be available for the person on the phone, which is completely understandable. So maybe tell them why you are not available. Say, would you mind calling back in an hour as I'm in a meeting now? I cannot talk to you now. Again, it's totally fine. We don't expect people to be available all the time, but it's about being polite about that and informing the person on the phone. Also, if you are struggling maybe with bad signal, this can happen. It's perfectly fine to ask someone to call again. So saying something like, can you call again? I think we have bad connection. Okay. Now, something else that you will need to do when talking on the phone, this can happen very often, is leaving or taking a message. Laisser un message. So, some phrases you can use. You can simply ask, can I take a message? So, can you take a message to note down? Or asking the person, would you like to leave a message? Then once again, often when you are asking to leave a message, it's because the person that you want to talk to is not available. So something that it's very good to do is to let someone know why this person isn't available. Again, it's giving that information. So saying something like, I'm afraid she stepped out, or I'm afraid she's not in office today. Would you like to leave a message so that we can get back to you? So again, it's all about giving that information, willing to help the other person on the phone. So another phrase is something like, she is busy right now. Would you like her to return your call? So if you don't think a call is maybe necessary, you can actually ask if the person wants the call to be returned. Another phrase you can use is something like, oh, he is in a meeting at the moment. Can he call you back when he's free? So again, it's all about that politeness, saying, do you want us to call you back? Can we call you back when we are free, when we are available for you? And once again, the same sort of idea. Would you like someone to return your call, or can they call you back when they are free? And a final sort of message you can give is establishing and giving someone the faith that their message will be received. So saying something like, that's fine, I will let the other person know that you called, or that's fine, I will make sure that she or he gets your message. So you're telling the person that their message will be seen, it will be heard by the person they are trying to reach. Now, also, what can happen again when someone is trying to leave a message is, once again, it can be difficult to hear them. So this comes back to our loudspeaker line. So once again, something that you need to mention, if you do want to put them on loudspeaker, make sure you ask them beforehand. So something simple like saying, I cannot hear you very well. Can I put our call on loudspeaker? It's perfectly fair enough to say that. Je ne vous entends pas très bien. Puis-je mettre notre appel sur haut-parleur? Okay, so now rounding up to the end of the call, it's really important to ask the person if they want anything else from this call, if they've got all the information that they want, or if there is anything else you can do. So the phrase you can use is there anything else I can do for you? Puis-je faire autre chose pour vous? So once again, you're showing that you're willing to help. Maybe they've forgotten to mention something. You're giving them the opportunity to bring it up with you in that moment at the end of the call. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our YouTube Live. So I hope that it was useful for you and you feel a little more comfortable placing those calls or answering the phone. Si vous voulez voir les expressions encore après cette live, Le live sera publié sur YouTube et vous pouvez le regarder encore pour noter les expressions. Et aussi, sur notre site, nous avons des articles de blog où les expressions, vous pouvez les trouver, et bien sûr dans les modules. Si vous commencez en formation avec nous, nous traitons ce type de sujet de business English, comme répondre au téléphone en anglais ou gérer une réunion. Et oui, comme j'ai dit au début, n'hésitez pas de nous contacter si vous voulez faire un bilan pédagogique pour voir premièrement votre niveau, pour comprendre quel type de formation vous aiderait d'améliorer. Et merci pour regarder. Nous sommes là chaque jeudi à 12h. Et we can see you this time next week. Merci beaucoup.